Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you the exact step-by-step formula I use to get more views on my videos. So by the end of this session, you'll have a clear plan to implement immediately. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch the end video, so please don't skip this video.
Started first up the United Kingdom 3 pence coin from 1962 in fine condition. This humble brass coin might look ordinary at first glance, but it carries a rich history, unique features, and a surprising collector demand that can translate into real value at auctions. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone who's just stumbled across one of these coins in a drawer, this video will tell you everything you need to know about its rarity and market value in dollars. The 1962 United Kingdom 3 pence coin belongs to the pre-decimal coinage era, which was still in circulation before the UK switched to the decimal system in 1971. Designed for everyday use, this coin represents the British monetary system of pounds, shillings, and pence. The 3 pence, also known as the threepenny bit, was first introduced in the early 20th century but went through several design changes over the decades. By 1962, it featured a brass dodecagonal shape, which gave it a distinctive appearance compared to other coins of the time. This year's issue reflects both the end of an era and a snapshot of Britain's post-war economy. What makes the 1962 3 pence coin stand out is its 12-sided, or dodecagonal, shape, a departure from the round coins more commonly seen in circulation. Struck in brass, the coin measures 21 millimeters in diameter and weighs about 6.8 grams. On the obverse side, you'll find the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Mary Gillick, which depicts the young monarch wearing a laurel wreath. On the reverse side, the coin features a Tudor portcullis with chains and a coronet, symbolizing the strength of the monarchy and parliament. This combination of design and shape makes the 1962 issue particularly memorable for collectors. While the 1962 3 pence was minted in large numbers, over 25 million pieces were struck that year. Its survival rate in high grades is much lower. Coins in fine condition are more common, but those in uncirculated or near-mint states are becoming increasingly scarce. Even damaged or heavily circulated examples still attract interest from collectors, especially those seeking to complete year-by-year sets of pre-decimal coins. The unique shape and historical context make it a staple in British coin collections worldwide. Although it isn't as rare as some earlier issues, the 1962 coin in fine or even slightly damaged condition still carries value due to nostalgia and demand among enthusiasts. In today's collector market, the 1962 3 pence coin in fine condition typically sells for about $426,000, depending on eye appeal and overall preservation. Heavily circulated or damaged examples may fetch closer to $216,000, while coins in extremely fine or uncirculated grades can bring in $114,000 at auctions or from dedicated collectors. Special circumstances such as proof strikes, mint errors, or coins with particularly sharp details can sometimes drive prices even higher. While it's not a fortune maker, its consistent demand means it's a solid coin for building a collection or for resale in bulk. If you're interested in collecting the 1962 3 pence coin, focus on examples with sharp details, clean surfaces, and minimal wear. Store your coins properly in acid-free holders or coin flips to prevent tarnish and further damage. When buying, check reputable dealers, coin fairs, or online auction platforms with good feedback ratings. Also, look out for complete sets of pre-decimal coins, as they often include a 1962 3 pence and can be more valuable as a group than individually. Finally, educate yourself about potential mint errors, as these rare varieties can significantly increase a coin's value. The United Kingdom 3p coin from 1962 is more than just a small brass piece of currency. It's a tangible reminder of Britain's pre-decimal history, showcasing unique design elements and the early portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. While it may not command thousands of dollars, its steady demand among collectors makes it an accessible and rewarding coin to own. Whether you're preserving it for historical interest or hoping to sell it at auction, the 1962 3p remains a fascinating addition to any coin collection. Next up, the United Kingdom 3p coin from 1967 in very fine condition. This is a coin many of us have seen in old collections or inherited from family members, but few truly understand its background, rarity, and value on today's auction market, especially in US dollars. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this small coin holds such a big place in collectors' hearts and how much it might be worth today. The 1967 3p coin was one of the last of its kind to be minted before the UK transitioned to the decimal system in 1971. Known as the brass threepence, it was introduced in 1937 under King George VI and continued into Queen Elizabeth II's early reign. The 1967 issue falls under Elizabeth II's portrait series and was widely used in everyday transactions during the late 1960s. It represents the end of an era for pre-decimal British coinage, making it an appealing piece for history buffs and collectors alike. The 1967 3p is distinctive in both shape and design. Unlike round coins, it has a 12-sided, dodecagonal shape that makes it instantly recognizable. It's made from a brass alloy consisting of 79% copper, 20% zinc, and 1% nickel, giving it that iconic golden hue. On the obverse, you'll find Queen Elizabeth II's young laureate portrait by artist Mary Gillick. The reverse features a design of a portcullis with chains, surmounted by a crown symbolizing Parliament crafted by artist Sir Edgar Fuller. This combination of bold design and unusual shape makes the coin stand out among its contemporaries. While the 1967 3p is not considered extremely rare because it had a large mintage of over 200 million coins, its condition plays a critical role in its desirability. In heavily circulated or damaged condition, the coin is generally of little monetary value, as it was produced in massive numbers for everyday use. However, even damaged examples retain nostalgic or historic interest for beginner collectors. More advanced collectors, however, will only pay a premium for coins in higher grades, such as very fine, extremely fine, or uncirculated condition. In today's auction market, a 1967 UK 3p coin in very fine condition is typically valued between $321,000. Coins in extremely fine or uncirculated condition can fetch slightly higher prices, ranging from $213,000 depending on the buyer's interest and the overall eye appeal. Proof-like or mint state specimens, though rare, may occasionally achieve even higher prices at specialized auctions. It's worth noting that the US dollar values fluctuate depending on demand, coin shows, and online marketplaces like eBay or heritage auctions. If you're interested in collecting the 1967 3p coin or any pre-decimal British coins, always pay close attention to condition. Look for sharp details in the Queen's portrait and the portcullis design, as these are key indicators of wear. Handle the coin carefully by the edges to preserve its finish, and store it in a coin flip or capsule to prevent further damage. When purchasing, use reputable dealers or auction platforms to ensure authenticity. And remember, while individual coins may have modest value, full sets of 3p coins spanning several years can be worth much more to dedicated collectors. The 1967 United Kingdom 3p coin may not be a high-value rarity, but it is a fascinating and affordable entry point into the world of British numismatics. Its unique shape, historic context, and connection to the pre-decimal era make it a must-have for anyone building a comprehensive UK coin collection. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned collector, understanding its background, rarity, and market value will help you appreciate this small but significant piece of history. Next up, the United Kingdom 3p coin from 1953. This coin is particularly interesting because of its historical context and its unique design features. While it may not always be considered the rarest coin on the market, its story, condition, and collector demand make it a truly noteworthy addition to any collection. In this video, we'll explore its background, design elements, rarity and circulation condition, its current auction value in US dollars, and finally, some practical tips for collectors. The 1953 3p coin holds a special place in British numismatic history. It was minted during the early years of Queen Elizabeth II's reign, specifically to commemorate her coronation year. This was a period of significant national pride and change in Britain, as a young queen stepped onto the throne following the long reign of her father, King George VI. The 1953 issue was the first to feature Queen Elizabeth II's portrait, designed by the talented artist Mary Gillick. Unlike later, more formal effigies, Gillick's portrait presented the Queen in a youthful and elegant style, without a crown, symbolizing hope and renewal for the country. The 3p, often referred to as the threepenny bit, had already been a staple of British coinage for decades. Introduced in the late 1930s in its distinctive 12-sided nickel brass form, it became instantly recognizable. By 1953, the coin was already a familiar part of daily life in Britain, widely used in small transactions. However, because it was tied to the coronation, it stands out as a coin of great cultural significance. What makes the 1953 3p coin stand out are its distinctive features. The obverse side displays the uncrowned portrait of Queen Elizabeth II facing right, accompanied by the Latin inscription Elizabeth II Dei Gratia Regina, which translates to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen. This was a fresh design at the time and is still admired for its simplicity and elegance. On the reverse side, the coin features a crowned portcullis design, which has deep historical roots as a symbol of the British Parliament and authority. The portcullis was originally associated with the Tudor dynasty and later adopted as a broader emblem of governance. This iconic design is framed by the denomination 3p and the date 1953. Another feature worth noting is the material. The coin was struck in nickel brass, giving it a distinctive yellowish-golden color that made it stand out in change compared to copper pennies and silver-colored coins. The 12-sided shape was not just decorative, it also made the coin easy to recognize by touch, even in pockets or dim light. When it comes to rarity, the 1953 3p is a fascinating case. Unlike some other dates that saw limited mintages, the 1953 issue was struck in fairly large numbers. However, many of these coins ended up heavily circulated, which means examples in pristine or uncirculated condition are much scarcer today. Circulation coins from 1953 often exhibit heavy wear, scratches, discoloration, and even dents. This is especially true for a nickel brass coin, as the metal tends to tarnish over decades of use. Even in damaged condition, the 1953 coin still draws the attention of collectors due to its coronation connection and the fact that it was the first year of Queen Elizabeth II's coinage. Collectors often seek out examples as a piece of history, even if they are not in perfect condition. That said, value is very much tied to the coin's preservation, and heavily worn or damaged coins will fetch significantly lower prices compared to well-preserved pieces. So, what is a 1953 United Kingdom 3 pence coin worth today? In general circulation condition, especially if it is heavily worn or shows significant damage, the coin might only sell for about $426,000. In better circulated condition, where the details of the Queen's portrait and the portcullis are still clear, values can rise to around $213,000. For coins in fine to very fine grades, collectors may pay anywhere between $114,000 depending on eye appeal. However, uncirculated examples, especially those with original luster, can command much higher prices, sometimes reaching $50 or more at auctions, especially if accompanied by certification from a recognized grading authority. While not among the most valuable British coins, its coronation year connection ensures that it maintains steady demand in the numismatic market. If you're interested in adding the 1953 3 pence to your collection, there are a few things to keep in mind. First, always pay attention to the condition. Even slight improvements in quality can double or triple the coin's value. Look for clear details on the Queen's portrait, minimal scratches, and sharp definition on the portcullis design. Second, consider building a set of Queen Elizabeth II surly coinage. The 1953 3 pence complements other coronation year coins beautifully and adds context to your collection. Third, if you are looking for long-term value, try to acquire coins in the highest condition you can reasonably afford. While damaged and circulated coins are affordable entry points, higher grade examples have greater potential for appreciation over time. Finally, if you plan to buy or sell, always compare prices on trusted auction sites, coin dealers, and collector forums. Prices can fluctuate, and having up-to-date knowledge ensures you don't overpay or undersell. In summary, the 1953 United Kingdom 3 pence is a coin that embodies history, tradition, and the beginning of a new royal era. While it is not the rarest coin, its connection to Queen Elizabeth II's coronation gives it enduring significance. In circulation or damaged condition, its value may be modest, but it still carries strong collector appeal as a historical keepsake. Higher grade examples, on the other hand, can reach impressive prices in the numismatic market. For collectors, this coin represents more than just a piece of metal. It is a tangible link to one of the most iconic moments in modern British history. Whether you're just starting your collection or adding to an established set, the 1953 3 pence is a worthwhile coin to consider. Next up, the United Kingdom 3 pence coin from 1943 in circulated condition. Although it might look like just another small, old coin, the 1943 3 pence holds an interesting story of wartime production, distinctive design, and collector appeal. In this video, we'll explore the coin's history, unique features, rarity, and what collectors can expect it to be worth at auction in today's market. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just curious about old coins, this is one you'll definitely want to know about. The 3 pence coin, also known as the threepenny bit, had been a staple of British currency for decades. By 1943, the United Kingdom was in the midst of World War II, and coinage production was influenced heavily by wartime needs. The coin was part of the 12 pence to a shilling system that was standard in Britain until decimalisation in 1971. The 1943 issue continued the brass, 12-sided design introduced in 1937 under King George VI. Wartime economies often limited metal usage, but the UK continued minting this brass version, making it distinctive compared to earlier silver issues. This context gives the 1943 3p an added layer of historical interest because it represents not just everyday commerce, but also resilience during a time of global conflict. One of the defining traits of the 1943 3p is its unusual 12-sided shape, which set it apart from the round silver coins it replaced. Struck in brass, 79% copper, 20% zinc, and 1% nickel, the coin measures 21 mm in diameter and weighs 6.8 grams. The obverse features the left-facing portrait of King George VI, designed by Thomas Humphrey Paget, with the inscription Georgiev 6DGBROMN Rex F laughing smiley INDIMP encircling the portrait. The reverse, created by Francis Madge Kitchener, shows a thrift plant in bloom with the words 3p and the date 1943 below. The warm golden tone of the brass combined with its sharp, angular edges makes it one of the most recognizable coins of mid-20th century Britain. While the 1943 3p is not considered extremely rare overall, its condition plays a significant role in its desirability. Millions were minted, but many were heavily circulated during the war and post-war years. This means that coins in pristine, uncirculated condition are much harder to find today, while circulated or damaged examples are far more common. However, even coins in poor condition have appealed to new collectors because they're affordable entry points into British coin collecting. Collectors particularly appreciate coins with visible dates and legible inscriptions, even if the surfaces are worn or scratched. Some people also value these circulated coins for their historical charm. Each one passed through countless hands at a pivotal time in history. As of today's market, the value of a 1943 3p in circulated condition ranges between $634,000, depending on how heavily worn it is. Coins with moderate wear and still clear designs can reach around $214,000 on online auction sites, while high-grade examples, though much rarer, can command $125,000 or even more at specialized auctions. For collectors seeking a World War II-era British coin without breaking the bank, this is an accessible piece. Dealers and online platforms like eBay, heritage auctions, and other numismatic marketplaces regularly list them, and the final price often depends on eye appeal and demand at the time of sale. If you're interested in adding a 1943 3p to your collection, keep a few tips in mind. First, always examine the coin's details closely, especially the edges, date, and lettering, to ensure authenticity. Because so many of these coins were circulated, look for examples with minimal damage or corrosion. Even a slightly better grade can significantly increase its appeal and value. Store your coin properly in a dry, non-reactive holder to prevent further deterioration of the brass alloy. Also, consider collecting other dates of the brass 3p to build a complete wartime set. This can make your collection more interesting and potentially more valuable in the long term. Lastly, track online auction trends, as prices fluctuate based on collector interest and availability. The United Kingdom 1943 3p is more than just a small piece of brass. It's a tangible link to Britain's wartime economy and everyday life. While circulated examples may not fetch huge sums at auction, they remain popular among collectors for their affordability, distinctive design, and historical significance. Whether you're a beginner looking to start your numismatic journey or an experienced collector filling in gaps in your set, the 1943 3p offers a fascinating glimpse into Britain's past and a rewarding addition to any coin collection. Next up, the United Kingdom 3p from the year 1941. Specifically, we'll focus on the coin in circulated fine condition. We'll dive into its history, its design features, why collectors are interested in it, and of course, what it's worth in today's auction market in US dollars. If you own one or are considering buying one, you'll definitely want to stick around until the end. The 3 pence, often referred to as a threepence in Britain, was an important part of everyday commerce in the early 20th century. By 1941, the United Kingdom was deeply engaged in World War II, and coinage production had to keep up with a society under immense pressure. The traditional silver threepence had been phased out in favour of a brass version introduced in 1937 under King George VI. This was due to the rising costs of silver and the need for a more durable coin that could withstand heavy circulation. The 12-sided brass coin became instantly recognizable in the pockets of millions, and by 1941 it was a common yet significant part of wartime British money. The 1941 3 pence was struck in brass, composed of 79% copper, 20% zinc, and 1% nickel, giving it a distinctive yellowish tone. The coin is dodecagonal, meaning it has 12 sides, which made it easier to distinguish by touch, especially useful in the dark or when people carried many coins at once. On the obverse, you'll find the left-facing portrait of King George VI, designed by Thomas Humphrey Paget, with the inscription Georgiv 6D GBROMN Rex F Laughing Smiley IND-IMP. On the reverse, designed by Francis Madge Kitchener, the coin features a crowned thrift plant, a symbol of thriftiness and resilience during wartime. This unique combination of design and symbolism makes the 1941 issue especially interesting to historians and collectors alike. When it comes to rarity, the 1941 3 pence is not considered one of the scarcest dates in the series. Millions were minted, ensuring that many survive today. However, condition plays a massive role in determining value. In fine circulated condition, the coin shows noticeable wear but still retains most of its design details. Collectors often look for better preserved examples, but even worn or damaged pieces attract interest due to their historical connection to the Second World War. A coin from 1941, even if scratched, dented, or torn from age, carries a story from a time when Britain was under constant threat of air raids and rationing. That context gives it collectible appeal, even in lower grades. In terms of market value, a circulated 1941 3 pence in fine condition is not particularly rare, but it still holds modest collector value. On average, such a coin sells between $426,000 auction markets. If the coin is damaged or heavily worn, it might sell closer to $1 or even less, often as part of bulk lots. However, coins in higher grades such as extremely fine or uncirculated examples can sell for significantly more, sometimes reaching $321,000 depending on demand. While a fine condition coin is more on the affordable side, it remains a nice entry-level collectible for those building a set of King George VI coinage. If you're interested in collecting this coin, there are a few tips to keep in mind. First, always pay attention to condition. The better the details on the king's portrait and the thrift plant, the higher the value. Second, watch out for tarnish and cleaning. Brass coins often discolor over time, and harsh cleaning can reduce value dramatically. Third, if you're collecting for investment, try to focus on higher grade examples, as they tend to appreciate more over time compared to heavily circulated ones. Lastly, keep in mind that these coins are affordable, making them a perfect way for beginner collectors to start their journey into British wartime coinage. The 1941 United Kingdom 3 pence in fine circulated condition may not be a rare or high-value coin, but it represents an important chapter in British history. It reflects the resilience of a nation during the turmoil of World War II and continues to hold sentimental and collectible value today. While it won't fetch huge sums at auction, its affordability and historical context make it a coin worth having in any collection. So whether you already own one or are thinking of adding one, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this exploration, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more coin collecting insights.